this application is specifically for creating lack of uniformity arguments within Cook County. So what this will allow any attorney to do is to come in here and for a subject property, choose the best 3 to 5 comparables that would support an assessment reduction. Okay. The main driver here is going to be the building assessed value per square foot. So I'll describe this header here. This example property here at 1111 Hofelder is in New Trier Township. And when it comes to New Trier, there's perhaps the most multi-pinned or split-pin properties. It's the most saturated of all the townships. This handles that as well. So it aggregates the actual assessed values per multiple additional pins and indicates that accurately. So let's go over this header here. So that you have the pin, you have the age of the property, you have the neighborhood code, you have the class, address, the square footage of the living area, the bathroom count, full and hyphen half, the construction type. You got the style, the assessment value total, and then, like we mentioned earlier, the building assessed value per square foot. This is going to be the main driver to essentially we're choosing comps that are going to have a lower building assessment value per square foot. And that's what you'd be using to argue that the subject property is overassessed due to the fact that the comparables have a lower building assessment value per square foot. So here we see that we have 126 comparables. Now what this basically does is this, first of all, let me backtrack and say that this is pulling from the Cook County Assessor's Office data subscription. So you get 3 snapshots of the data in any given year. And this is going to have the freshest data. As we see up here, we got for New Trier Township, we've got the past 1 data, which means it's ready for the assessor's office. So for every pass, you'll have the freshest data. So therefore, because the comps are always going to be changing values as values are adjusted, post appeal and whatnot. So here we have the filter header here, which allows you to accurately or quickly go through and choose the best 3 to 5 comps to support your case. So depending on this is where it becomes an art versus a science. So depending on your preferences and what you've known to work for you, everyone's going to do this a little bit differently. But let's just say if you like to only go same class, you absolutely go with the same exterior construction. And let's narrow it down to about 15%, plus or minus 15% square footage wise, so 420. And same neighborhood code. And maybe you only want to deal with it's too narrow. Maybe we're going to go plus or minus 50 years in the age. So as you see, we narrowed it down to 8 comps. All right. Now let's just say, you say that's fine, but what I like to do is I like to choose comps that are on the same block. Okay, so the pin schema is like this. So you got the first 2 numbers is the area. The second 2 is the section number. The third segment is the block number. 4th segment is the parcel number. And then the 5th is the unit number. So we can come up here into the search box and filter down to only display comps that are down and to the exact same block. Therefore, they're all nearby. All right, so Now we've got some showing up on the same street here. However, class-wise, this is going to be just out of range. 206, we can kind of go between the 205 and the 209, even the 278s, but 204s are going to be no good. However, here's a 206 down here. And just for the sake of the example, let's say we choose this one. And we go to the next page. Okay, we got some 278s. That's going to be between a 207 and a 208. Basically, this means it's a two or more story residence up to 62 years between 2001 and 3,800 square feet. So perhaps these are on the same street. Same street comps are ideal. So there we go. So now we've got five comps. Okay. So then we come down here. And here we have options for every particular form that you would need to submit to either the assessor's office, the re-review for the assessor's office, the board of review, the re-review for the board of review, and the property tax appeal board. So these forms will be specific for your name and your law firm and your clients. Okay. So let's just say, well, let's take a look at the assessor's office package here. You click on Get Docs. What it's going to do is generate a PDF that would essentially contain everything you need minus your client authorization form, your owner lessee form. So that downloads to your local machine here. And then so here it is. So this is a fictitious attorney, but just to give you an idea of everything in blue here is the data that gets populated onto this form. So you got 2 copies of the complaint, because when you turn these in person, they're going to stamp one, timestamp one, and give one back to you as kind of your receipt. We have a brief here. It basically states, the current 2018 assessment value of $75,159, which basically means market value is $751,000. Okay, it's too high, and we're saying it represents an improvement value of 19.87 per square foot, when really the improvement value should be 17.68. And with that logic, we think the market value should be 690,000, or an assessed value of 69,000. It gives us a snapshot, or it gives the analyst a snapshot of the comps that you selected. Here's the math in terms of calculating, you're arguing your point in terms of why you feel what your adjustment value should be. Here's a comparable grid complete with all the property criteria so that they have, you want to make it easy for them to change your values. So you outline everything here that enables them to make a decision based on those comps being as strong as possible. And here we go with and then we have the property record card attributes. Essentially, it's a recreation of the property record cards with photos. Okay, so that's the subject. There's the first comp, second, and so on.
La 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 la, wait till I give my money right.